Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
And an MBA.
Let's think about the richest in 2025. The Forbes published the world's billionaires list, and nothing surprised me because the top four is from the US. They just change the order. So Elon Musk, Bezos, and switching Mark Zuckerberg, and they're just jumping between the top three. And it means US is still very powerful, and nobody can cover billions and buy other countries, like Greenland, for instance. They can combine their billions and say, hey, I want to sell you on you. What do you think? So is it like also the support for Trump and everyone is the richest people in the world from the US, and they support Republicans, and they can give money to buy the people. I'm thinking about the consequences that the last 10 years, definitely in the top 10, the richest people from the US. And especially if these richest people support current government, they can share part of their billions. And so
Bill Gates is out of the top 10. Look at what do you know?
yeah, but it was many, many years ago when we got Microsoft and everything so popular. But I see that's top four. It's definitely Silicon Valley.
Yeah, and it's quite a skew, like 370, 190, 175, 160, 160, and then it drops off after you get out of the top 10. I mean, you have a lot of 100 billionaires. I mean, you have to go all the way to number 15 to get out of the hundreds of billions. See?
Yeah, you can see that you've got the Walton family, right?
Yeah,
Walmart, and
yeah,
that's just inherited wealth.
yeah.
But if you look at the top people, uh, I mean, we can explain what they're going to do with the money later, but those are all, those are people who took advantage of the shift from analog to digital. And in the 80s and 90s, everything was analog. And it sounds simple, right? Records, music, everything. And then they just capitalize on that digital movement. Elon Musk is a little bit different because he's probably the most pure entrepreneur there, right? Rocket ships and electric cars. But Zuckerberg, Bezos, they just took something that was traditionally analog and then made it digital, right? Facebook is something like the cafe that's now digitized. Um, Amazon is nothing more than your classified page for sale digitized, right? You can see that's where the movement was, and they capitalized on that massive movement from to the digital economy, and that's what you're going to see today. I think your question, Elena, is America, right? How does America produce this many? Because it's the new world. They're not kind of chained to an old tradition. I think Europe has older tradition. Um, Most Americans can't trace their lineage beyond 300 years in America, I would say. They all come from someplace else. It's an immigrant country. Same thing with Canada. And it's an entrepreneurial environment where you have to prove your worth, not based on your last name, monarchs or legacy. You can make it work. And I think that's what you see in the top, I guess, everybody on there in America's list, right? Even Buffett. I mean, he doesn't come from money.
I'm pretty sure Buffett's still analog, though.
Yeah.
Developer, analog developer, not digital developer. Yeah.
And I guess the other question is, how does that link with politics?
Yeah, because especially they publicly support politics figure, and they're thinking, okay, if these people with a lot of money, they can donate, for instance, the country and so the bigger influence. They can even say, okay, I can make a contract with you if you support this decision or that decision for my country. So even on that level, because it's a business. So definitely some influence. And I worry that it's like top 10 US, and it's not only about tariffs, it's all about this business perspective.
I think a picture
Yeah.
is worth 1,000 words.
Oh.
So this is Bezos and
Oh
Zuckerberg
my
and
God.
Musk, and they're kissing up to Trump. Um,
This is what I meant. This is what I meant. So
yeah.
the richest people in the world support Trump, and that's why Trump can do whatever he does right now. Change, say something, and be brave because he has this background.
I didn't know.
It-
I like how Mickey Mouse is. They're all stepping on Mickey Mouse.
Is it Disney?
Yeah.
yeah, Elena, you make it sound like the previous administration didn't have donors as well. I mean, American politics doesn't work. Rich people
I
give it to Republicans. They give it to Democrats as well. I mean, if you
Yeah.
watch the race, Oprah Winfrey, you had massive. Bezos was a Democrat. They go where the business is. This is not about politics. This is about business. I don't know if you watched The Godfather, but you should watch The Godfather.
many, many years ago.
Yes, but The Godfather laid pretty clear. This is not personal. This is business. I actually did meet some gangsters, and they told me the same thing because I was kind of worried, right? I was asking them questions about being a mafia guy, right? And they
Mhm.
said, "Listen, we'll never take a path that's bad for business. It's all about the business. So if you stay on the right side of business, we're not gonna." And I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense. And that's what you're just seeing in American politics. It's not ideologically driven. You see, Bezos, Zuckerberg was a classic. He kicked Donald Trump off of Facebook when there was a Democratic government in place and he censored everybody else. When he heard maybe, Trump was going to win, then he went to Mar-a-Lago and took the knee because it's all business. It's not personal. It's
Oh
never
my
going to
God.
change.
I think the law also incentivizes. I mean, first of all, we talked about the Gini index before, so America has quite a bit of wealth inequality. So I think that's why you see a lot of the top richest coming from America. The laws in America also incentivize the political contributions like Citizens United, or you have a lot of dark money in politics. So you have a lot of money that's untraceable. So you can't see exactly who is putting into these political action committees and super PACs, and it's not transparent. And in 2010, they opened up the system to let more money in. So when you start running the government like that, which is how corporations are run, one share, one vote, so it's like who has the most shares votes for the board of directors, and they appoint the CEOs and all the officers, and that's how the policy gets shaped in a corporation. But should we really be running our democracy, our country like that? Whereas, it's not set up like a corporation. It's the American politics is set up differently to be more representative. But as soon as you start incentivizing political spending, it becomes closer toward $1, one vote, similar to the way shareholders are.
We talked about there are more lobbyists in Washington than actual senators and representatives. It's a billion dollar industry. I mean, you got to get a license or you got to get approval to do it. But so yeah, money's always in politics. And you know what? Is it a Donald Trump did one thing that was interesting that he ran somewhat as an outsider. Um, and generally there's in America there's two parties and you think you have a choice between two things. Independents come once in a while, they try it. Um, but it's a different when you think about the people get to say, but the people get to say it's like when Ford was selling cars, he said you have a choice between getting a black or a black car. Like, that's the choice for America. In
Yeah.
politics, you get that guy or this guy again, but a different version of him. So, you know, it's imperfect, but um, you got to make it work, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of imperfection in the system, and we're going to see that, over and over again.
Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.